Stay tuned for reality interventionist. He is Shiraz Baboo. So watch this and ask questions and participate live. We'll be with you in a moment.
With blind spot healer, Tiffany Cardinal, a community for empaths and spiritual seekers to open up to more money, love, health, and joy. Money, love, health, and joy. Money, love, health, and joy.
Welcome, welcome. I love Shiraz. He is one of the few healers on me personally. He's a multi-award-winning author, international speaker. He's often jet-setting, speaking all over the globe, really. He's a reality interventionist who helps people permanently rewrite their stories that are keeping them stuck. He's renowned for his groundbreaking work in reality addiction. Shiraz empowers entrepreneurs, healers, and high achievers to break free from unconscious patterns of struggle, whether it's illness, financial limitation, or self-sabotage, and shift you into abundance, ease, and joy. Through his transformational book, How to Rewrite, and then it actually, sorry, it kind of got cut off. I don't know where your reality, right?
How to Rewrite Reality. Yes.
Ah,
right there.
Incredible. So Shiraz,
hey Tiffany.
I know, long time no talk. Yeah, he, just so you guys know, he was one of my guest healers in my Abundant Empath last week. So he really is somebody who I genuinely, openly recommend, because everyone who I've ever sent his way has felt the shifts, including me. Like, I'll look at stuff at a subconscious level with clairvoyance and clairaudience and claircognizance, and I don't know, he has his own way of getting the magic and seeing and feeling what's blocking people and keeping them stuck, and it's wonderful.
Mm-hmm. And so are you. You are a wonderful healer yourself, very powerful. And what I love is that you are not afraid to get healed in front of other people. A lot of healers won't go there. It's like, oh, these are my students, I'm not going to go there. But when we were doing a workshop the other day, at one point, everyone just sort of got quiet. And Tiffany's like, well, if no one else is going to go, I'm going to go. And she jumped in there.
Well, normally I don't. But with you, I was like, wait a second, no one's volunteering. Heck yeah, it's my turn. Because I didn't want to pass up that golden opportunity.
You're a wise woman.
Aww. And I knew my peeps. I created a safe, loving environment. So I knew like whatever was going to show up, they weren't going to judge me for it. So like, we're just going to play and see, what can grow from there. And also, for everyone who is watching, maybe it was a month or two ago, I interviewed Shiraz on this show, and I had him help me with getting out of my own way about publishing a book. And I published it yesterday. My Sacred Body, Sacred Soul, published yesterday. And had I not worked with you, Shiraz, it might kind of gotten delayed. Even more so. So thank you. Yeah. You rocked it for me, to help me get out of my own way. And
always a pleasure.
Well, thank you. What would you say is your top 3 things that you help people with?
Reality addiction, of course, number 1.
And that means?
that means that you're actually addicted to the reality that you're living in right now. You're addicted to how much money you make, what kind of relationships you have, how healthy you are. And it's not just that this is what life serves you. It's not only a mindset thing, it's a physical addiction to your current reality. And I help you get out of addiction. Did we just swap? That was weird.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I swapped you
Okay.
so that I could do this.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh.
So yeah, I help you get out of addiction to your current life and addicted to a better life. So more success, more money, better health, better relationships, all the good stuff.
Mm,
Yeah.
love it. How long have you been doing it for?
I've been in business about 12 years. I've been doing reality addiction about 8 years because I used to do transformational work, and then I realized a percentage of the people I worked on, the changes didn't stick. They ended up back where they were after a few months. And I'm like, what is going on here? Until I realized that they were going through withdrawal to get back into their old addiction.
What does withdrawal look and feel like in your
So,
observations?
well, it depends what you're getting out of addiction to. So if you're trying to make more money, and let's say you're trying to get to $100,000, you may almost get there or actually cross the barrier and get to $100,000. I think I've made it. And then the next thing you know, you're back where you started. And you think, well, it's because I didn't get enough clients, or it's because the advertising didn't work, or the technology broke down, or that partner screwed me over. But it's really you behind the scenes controlling everything to go back to where your body's like, I love this place. I get my fixes from this place. So I want to stay right here because it's actual fixes. Like, let's say you're struggling and people are
Mhm.
saying, Tiffany, we see you struggling. We love you. We support you. We got you here. Every time people are saying that to you, it feels like love. So you're getting hit with dopamine, oxytocin. It feels really good. And so then if you start to create success and they stop saying that because now they don't need to cheer you on, you're successful, your body's like, where's my dopamine? Where's my oxytocin? I need my fix. Right? So it sends signals to your brain that says, start screwing up, get back to struggle so that people will love on us again. Yeah.
And I'm laughing because, I've absolutely had moments like that where I've self-sabotaged after big successes. So
A lot of people do. Yeah. And that's one of the things I recommend to people. If you have a huge success, start working with a mindset coach right away so that you can maintain that success and not go back to where you were.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I think the most successful entrepreneurs, coaches, and healers always have at least one,
Please do.
at least one mentor, coach, healer that works on them or with them to help them up level their life.
Yeah.
I do. You do. I mean, we're
High five.
humble enough to have that, right?
Yeah, I don't mess around. I got 5 of them. So
Yeah. Working with people that you resonate, that you want to have influence and empower your life is
Mhm.
so important.
Oh, yeah, and you need coaches for different areas of your life. So I've got a coach for on how to speak. I've got a coach on how to sell. I've got a coach on how to run my business. And it's like, yeah, it's just like they're the experts, and I hire the experts so I don't have to know everything. And so I just like,
Mhm.
I don't know what I don't know what to do. What do I do? Okay, I'll go do that then. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I've always done multiple big ticket, high-end programs every
Mhm.
year for at least 15 years, and
Mhm.
have had multiple coaches and healers. And
Nice.
like you said, some are really brilliant in certain areas.
Mhm.
And it's like I gravitate towards that because I want the fast,
Yep.
easy, efficient way to get things done so that I can utilize this lifetime very well. No dilly
Yeah,
dallies, right?
very good plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that I often hear you talk about is the problem is not the problem. The problem is the solution. What do you
Yeah.
mean by that?
So any consistent problem in your life is actually the solution for an emotional problem you're not looking at. So that may not make sense on the surface, but you look at it this way. Let's say you believe that if you have lots of money, people are going to say, "Can I have some?" Right? "Can you invest in my company? Can you give to my charity? Can you just take care of me? You have the money." Your family could be like, You have all the money in the family, so you should give some to us, and we should all be in your will now. Make sure we get paid out." And if those kind
Such
of thoughts,
entitlement.
yeah. But if I'm describing this and you're like, "Oh God, no, no, no," then your mind says, "Okay, you know what? If we don't make the money, we'll never have to deal with that." So if you're not making money, it's not because you don't, not want to make money. You want to make money consciously, unconsciously. This emotional turmoil, this guilt laid onto your by your family, or the pressure or the overwhelm from having all that money, it's like, I don't want to ever deal with that. Let's just
Mhm.
make this amount of money that's working for us. And working
Mhm.
for us could be like, I could barely pay my bills. Like, I'm this close to being on the street. But that's working for you emotionally because it's frustration. It's not guilt. It's not overwhelm. Your mind doesn't care about your physical situation. It cares about your emotional situation.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So more practical tools that we can use when we're trying to, number one, find
Mhm.
what the actual problem is,
Yep.
and then how to fix it.
So make it like, once you actually get it, a lot of times you can say, "Oh, that's just a belief I had from when I was a child," or "That's just something someone told me," or I really don't have to worry about that. So, for instance, uh, with actually, we'll just go with that other example. You're worried about feeling guilty.
Mhm.
Well, if you made the money, is there anyone else really entitled to it?
No.
No. So if they ask you for it, should you feel guilty if you say no? Like, no. Right? So when you can get yourself to that spot that if someone asks me for money and I don't want to give it to them, I don't have to feel guilty about it. Doesn't mean you're going to hoard all your money. There'll be people you're like, "Yeah, sure, you can have some. I'm feeling generous today." But the people that feel that they're entitled, like perhaps your family members or the people coming up to you, "Can you give me some? I'm struggling so bad and you have money, please save me." You don't have to feel bad if you don't give them money. And when
Mhm.
that really sinks in that you don't have to feel bad, you'll watch your income go up.
Hmm. Yeah. I, um, I noticed along these lines, of blockers and stuff. So I've got the book coming out, Sacred Body, Sacred Soul, and for the last few months, I've been trying to up the ante of clearing stuff within my own body, and I had this I heard your voice. I heard your voice about something, okay? I had this thought about, um, carrying excess weight to prove that, plump girls, fat girls, whatever, curvilicious girls can be beautiful.
Mhm.
And then I heard your voice say, "And could you release a story about that?" And I was like, "Yes, let's do it." Right? So every once in a while, as I'm doing my own inner work, like I hear your voice, like as if your soul is like there helping
Aw,
from time to time. Yeah.
thank
So I
you.
want to thank you for that.
Welcome. Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you talk about proving is a thing people need to stop doing.
Mhm.
Because when you try to prove something, it's never about you just doing your thing. It's about you showing other people this is possible. And like, if you're trying to prove that plump girls can be beautiful rather than just knowing plump girls can be beautiful, then you no longer have a choice but to be plump.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So before you have a choice, I could stay this way because I love myself, or you know what, I feel like letting some weight go. I could do that too. That's fine. But proving, nope, now you're stuck. In fact, you might actually put on more weight to further prove it that no matter how much weight I have, I'm still beautiful. That's proving energy.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. And I see people do proving in, like, I can deal with whatever life throws at me. I'm going to prove to you I'll deal with whatever life throws at me. And so then life throws horrible things at you so you can be improving, right? If
Yeah.
you're yeah, if you're just in knowing, it's like I can deal with whatever life hits me with, but life doesn't, right?
Mm-hmm.
A knowing, there's nothing to prove because it's just there. And then you have this really easy life, and people are like, yeah, but you couldn't handle a hard thing. And I'm like, I can. I don't need to prove it to you, but I can. Right. So
How does someone shift that once they identify it?
once it so knowing and proving have different feelings. And when you
Okay.
tap in, you can really notice the difference. And so if I have to prove I'm a powerful energy worker, then it's this push energy. People will feel the energy pushed against them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's draining. It takes more effort to prove than it does to just be. So knowing
Mm-hmm.
I'm a powerful energy worker, that's who I am. Cool. Proving, it's like, I'll show you I'm a powerful energy worker. Like, you can feel there's right. And
Mm-hmm.
here's the irony of that, is that you will attract people that are resistant to change so you can prove you're a powerful energy worker. So instead of attracting the clients that will just change magically and easily, and they're like, oh my God, Tiffany, you're amazing. Here's $10,000 for what you just did. You'll attract the people that's like, oh my God, we've been at this for 4 years, Tiffany. I'm frustrated. You're frustrated. Nothing's changed. I'm tired of all this.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, you don't want to do that. You don't get a lot of testimonials out of that. So
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Yeah. And I know when you're teaching, you often will work with people one-on-one, and as something releases for the person who's in the hot seat, if anybody else in the audience has that kind of an energy, it can be released within them too.
Yep.
Is that your plan for Jumpstart, or can you tell me a
Oh yeah.
little bit more about Jumpstart, and when is it, and
Okay. So
who
June
is it for?
Jumpstart is June 18th. We're going from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a matter of a few hundred people in the room. And I'm going to be working individually on people, but when I work on someone's specific belief, like I can't make enough money, or I don't want to be visible, or I'm too sick to actually run my business properly, whatever it is, anyone else that has the same story or belief that the person I'm working on with, when they release it, it releases for all the people in the room. And that's the beautiful thing about this kind of an event, is you can come in, I can work with 20 people, that none of which are you, and you can get a shift out of every single person, right? And come out of this event completely transformed, start making more money, have better relationships, be healthier. And people have done that. I've got lots of reports of people's lives changing after one of these types of events. And the record holder right now did $3.8 million in extra sales. So
Ching on that.
yeah.
That is awesome. Love it.
Yeah. So a lot can
Okay.
change in just a few hours.
Okay. So
So,
I put that link in the chat. It's also in the description, so you can register. There's the link for it. And come to Jumpstart. See what
mhm.
can be released for you. I know that when he was teaching last week in my class. I had this this thing where, this is my class that I'm facilitating, right? This whole series, but I had him come in as a guest, and I got a chance to release stuff that I hadn't even thought about because it came up in somebody else. And so that's the cool thing that can happen for you guys too, because some of these things that other people are going to ask for isn't even in your conscious mind. You're not thinking about it, and yet it's buried somewhere in your subconscious or carried in your body in some way that you just didn't remember or have exposure to until that one moment when, a brave person comes to class and says, "Shiraz, will you help me?" And then he does this little deep dive.
It was actually amusing because the person that did the extra 3.8 million, I didn't even work on it. I was working on someone else, and we were talking about that. That person realized we got him to realize that he was improving. I can rebuild my business no matter what happens, right? So how do you prove you can rebuild your business no matter what happens? You have to trash your business.
Oh, gee.
Right? So he was creating a business and then trashing it and rebuilding it. It gets good, and then he trashed it. And the other guy's like, "Oh my God, I've been doing that, but I've been doing that with multi-million-dollar companies."
Oh no.
Right? So
Wow.
then he came up with an idea for a new company, implemented it, and within months, $3.8 million. That company is still going, and I think it's worth 10 million now or something like that. And he's not trashing it. He's not trashing it. So,
Love it. Woo! Nice.
yeah.
Okay, so for those who haven't yet worked with you and want to, but maybe want a little sample of how you work, would you want to play and do a little live demo?
Okay, we have about 5 minutes, so
Yep, so we'll be snappy.
okay.
I had this Highly Perceptive People Academy, my business, and 22 million. And I was like, well, that's bigger than I had ever imagined. 22 million a year. And then I was just in the energy of it, like, okay, I don't know how or what's in the way yet, but I love the number. So Shiraz, what do I need to clear in order to be on board with that number?
All right. So for people who haven't seen me do this, I'm going to be having a conversation with Tiffany about this. When I talk, I can tell when your conscious beliefs match your unconscious beliefs. So whenever things don't align, I'm going to say, Tiffany, that's not coming up true. We're going to find out what the story is that's running around in our unconscious mind. And when we get to it, I'm going to say, are you willing to step out of that story? If Tiffany says yes, and she means it, it's going to shift in that moment. And I will start yawning or coughing because that's how my body reacts to energy shifts around me. So now the cool thing is, if you're listening and you've got the same belief as Tiffany, then when I say you're willing to step out of that story, you could say yes, and it's going to shift for you too. That's how it works. So would you like to make the $22 million?
Yes, and I feel the voice is like it could be hard or take a lot of time and work and energy that I didn't want to allocate.
Okay. Who taught you that making lots of money requires a lot of time, work, and energy?
Probably my dad, observing my dad.
Okay. So your dad was running his story and you took his story as true, but it's just a story. Are you willing to step out of his story that making a lot of money requires a lot of time, energy, and what was it? Effort, money?
Yes.
Yeah.
And yes.
Ooh, good. Okay. Is it worth making that much money?
My conscious mind said yes, and then there was some part of me that went in the
Okay. So that's the part we have to look at.
it's like consciously, then I could be more philanthropic and generous and give more. And then the other part of me is like, oh shit.
Yeah. Okay. So if you have lots of money, do you have to give it? Do you have to give it away?
No.
Do you have to be philanthropic? Okay, so that's not coming up true.
Mm.
Okay. So if you want to be philanthropic, it should come from this place of, hey, I'd like to do this, not I have to do it. I have money, I'm now obligated. Okay.
Yeah,
Obligation
I
always feels
want
heavy.
to do it.
Yep.
It was more something else about what
Well,
was the something
your
else?
energy dropped when you talked about giving away money.
Okay, then
So
we'll let
are
that
you
go.
willing to step out of the story that if you make lots of money, you have to give it away?
Yes.
Is it okay to just have $22 million sitting in your bank account so that you could do anything you want with?
No.
What's wrong with that?
Uh, the shoulds, like I should have given it away. I should have done more good than have this nest egg all to myself.
Okay.
It feels selfish.
Okay. So there we go. Are you willing to step out of the story that if you have $20 million, you have to feel selfish? You have to feel guilty for having it.
Yeah. Hmm.
If you have lots of money, do you have to give it all away?
Not all, but most. It
No,
was the
that's
voice.
not coming up true. It is all. And even if it was
Okay.
just most, it shouldn't be most. It should be a small percentage, like 5%, 10%. So are you willing to step out of the story that if you have lots of money, you have to give it all away?
Yes. Hmm.
Okay. Right? Because if you keep giving it all away, you can't grow it to give more away. If you give enough away that your money can continue to grow, then you can start giving more and more and more away. There's so many heart-centered people. It's like, I've got so much, let me just give it away. And then you've got to start from scratch and get it all back again, rather than
Uh-huh.
it being perpetual.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. How do you feel?
Good, because yeah, I was the perpetual giver.
Okay.
Then I'd have to start over.
Well, and here, the irony is when you stop being a perpetual giver, you can accumulate so much money that you can perpetually give. But you have to stop being a perpetually giver in order to perpetually give. Right?
That's a mind warp.
It is. But one is a state of being and the other is an action.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah. So stop being a giver and instead give. Because givers can't receive. People who give can receive. That's the difference.
Oh my God. Say that again.
Givers can't receive, but people who give can receive.
That is brilliant.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was I had identified as a giver.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Stop it.
Thank you. I needed that. Like, that last gold nugget was, like, ginormous. So how many of you, as you're watching this live or the recordings, has this been a golden nugget for you? Because he has many. And if you want more, you've got to sign up for his Jumpstart. So here's the link. It's in the chat. Come play, receive healing, see what else can be released within you so you can be the best version of yourself.
Absolutely.
Any final words, Shiraz? And thank you again so much for what
Thank
you
you.
just facilitated for me.
My pleasure. Yep. So my final words, always the same thing. Don't be afraid to be the happiest person in the room. Happiest person sets the tone.
Love it.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Tiffany.
Bye for now.
Bye.